Imagine being accused of a crime you didn't commit, and the one person trying to destroy your life is someone you trusted. The courtroom air was thick with tension. Officer Marcus Bennett took the stand, his expression cold and unyielding, as he swore on the Bible, his voice steady and calculated. "Your Honor, I saw her, Rachel Adams, standing over the victim with blood on her hands. She was holding the weapon." Rachel's heart slammed against her chest, but it wasn't fear that surged through her veins. It was a fiery rage. Sitting across from the officer, her jaw clenched and her fists tightened in her lap, she fought to keep her composure. This was no ordinary trial. This wasn't just a fight for her freedom. This was the moment she would expose a deep corruption lurking within the justice system. She wasn't a woman accused of a crime she didn't commit. Rachel was a federal agent, and Officer Bennett had no idea who he was up against. The courtroom seemed to grow quieter, every word of Bennett's testimony landing like a heavy blow. He painted Rachel as a murderer, standing over a lifeless body with a weapon in hand, covered in blood. But Rachel knew the truth, and the truth was about to come to light in the most unexpected way. Rachel's eyes never left Officer Bennett as he continued his lies, trying to break her spirit. But what Bennett didn't know was that Rachel wasn't just anyone. As a respected federal agent, she had uncovered corruption in high places, and now she was facing an accusation that would ruin her career and her life. The deeper the lies spun, the more Rachel realized that she wasn't just fighting for her innocence. She was fighting to reveal the darkness hiding within the very system she had spent years serving. With every fabricated word spoken by Officer Bennett, Rachel knew one thing for sure: she wasn't going down without a fight. This trial would not only define her fate, but also unveil a conspiracy that could bring down those who had betrayed her. Rachel sat motionless, her mind racing as Officer Marcus Bennett continued to weave his deceitful tale. For years, Rachel had dedicated herself to the pursuit of justice. As a federal agent, she had investigated countless criminal networks, bringing corrupt individuals to justice. She had built a reputation, earned the respect of her colleagues, and believed in the very system that now seemed determined to ruin her. But now she was the one accused of a crime she didn't commit. What hurt the most was the realization that the person trying to destroy her was someone she had trusted. Officer Bennett wasn't just a rogue cop. He was part of a dangerous web of corruption, one that Rachel had been unknowingly investigating. He wasn't merely framing her for murder. He was trying to silence her to protect his colleagues and their illegal operations. This wasn't just about one life, it was about the fight to expose a network of corruption within the justice system itself. As the trial dragged on, Rachel's belief in the fairness of the system began to erode. This wasn't the justice she had dedicated her life to. Officer Bennett wasn't just lying about the crime scene. He was protecting a larger conspiracy, one that ran deep within the very institution she had served. And now Rachel was trapped in the middle of it, accused and alone. Her fury simmered beneath the surface as she listened to his testimony, knowing that the truth was far from what he was claiming. But even though the odds were stacked against her, Rachel was resolute. She wasn't about to let a corrupt officer destroy everything she had worked for. She had faced criminals and conspiracy before. This time would be no different. Rachel's moment came when she finally saw a crack in Officer Bennett's carefully constructed lie. The inconsistencies in his testimony were glaring, but it wasn't enough to expose him. But then Rachel realized something crucial. He didn't even know what she had been wearing the night of the crime. Standing up, Rachel's voice cut through the tension in the room. "Officer Bennett, can you tell the court exactly what I was wearing when you allegedly saw me at the crime scene?" She watched as his eyes shifted nervously, his confidence faltering for the first time. I don't remember exactly," he stammered. "It was dark, and everything happened so fast." Rachel's heart raced. This was the opening her defense attorney had been waiting for. The cracks in his story were too wide to ignore, and it was time to act. Her lawyer, Tom, leaped at the opportunity. "Your Honor, we request the security footage from the area surrounding the crime scene. Could provide crucial insight into what really happened." As the judge granted the request, Rachel couldn't help but feel a flicker of hope. This wasn't just a small mistake on Bennett's part. It was a sign that his whole story was falling apart. When the footage was finally brought into the courtroom, the room fell silent as the timestamp revealed Rachel's alibi. She had been miles away at the time of the murder. Officer Bennett's lies were being exposed one by one. The room was still as the video played, confirming Rachel's alibi beyond a shadow of a doubt. But the fight wasn't over yet. Officer Bennett, visibly shaken, tried to salvage his story, suggesting that the footage could have been doctored. But Rachel's team had anticipated this and had the footage independently verified by experts. The video was genuine, and Officer Bennett's version of events was crumbling in front of everyone. As the forensic evidence was revealed, it only deepened the hole Bennett was digging for himself. The blood on the murder weapon didn't match Rachel's DNA. It was the victim's. And the fingerprints found on the knife, they didn't belong to Rachel either. They matched another officer in Bennett's corrupt network. With the final pieces of the puzzle falling into place, Rachel knew it was time to make her move. The courtroom was at the edge of its seat as she stood and addressed the judge, her voice steady but full of conviction. "Your Honor, I'm not just the woman on trial here. I am an FBI agent investigating a network of corrupt officers. Officer Bennett is one of them. He is lying to protect himself and his colleagues, who have been bribing officials and tampering with evidence." The courtroom gasped in shock, but Rachel stood firm. She wasn't just fighting for her innocence. She was exposing a conspiracy that reached into the heart of law enforcement. Rachel's bombshell revelation reverberated through the courtroom. Officer Bennett, pale and sweating, attempted to deny the truth, but the evidence was undeniable. The forensic report, the security footage, the fingerprints, everything was stacking up against him. He was finished, and the truth was finally coming to light. But Rachel wasn't done yet. Her team had uncovered a hidden audio recording, one that had been meticulously hidden by Bennett and his colleagues. The recording was explosive, revealing their discussions about bribing politicians, covering up crimes, and manipulating the justice system. It was the final nail in the coffin for Officer Bennett. Rachel's defense attorney confidently addressed the court. "The security footage, the forensic findings, the audio recordings, every piece of evidence proves my client's innocence. Officer Bennett's lies have been exposed." With those words, the case was sealed. Officer Bennett tried to defend himself, but it was too late. The weight of the evidence crushed his attempt at evasion. His lies had finally caught up to him, and the truth had triumphed. The weeks following the trial were filled with both relief and a lingering sense of betrayal. Officer Bennett was arrested and charged with perjury, obstruction of justice, and conspiracy. His network of corrupt officers was dismantled, and an internal investigation into the FBI was launched. Rachel's name was cleared, but the victory wasn't as sweet as she had imagined. Standing outside the courthouse, Rachel looked out over the crowd of reporters and onlookers. Her partner at the FBI had just sent her a message. "We're not done yet. Keep fighting." Rachel's lips curled into a faint smile. The fight was far from over, but she felt ready to face whatever came next. The weight of the corruption within the system had shaken Rachel to her core. She had fought to expose the truth, but in doing so, she had exposed the deep flaws within the very system she had dedicated her life to. As she walked away from the courthouse, she couldn't help but wonder how much of the justice system was truly broken beyond repair. But one thing was certain. As long as there was still a fight to be fought, Rachel would be there, ready to stand for the truth. The story of Rachel Adams teaches us that integrity and the pursuit of truth are not always easy, but they are essential. Even when faced with false accusations and betrayal, standing up for what is right can uncover deep-rooted corruption and injustice. Life often tests us with challenges that seem insurmountable, but resilience, patience, and determination in the face of adversity can lead to victory. Never underestimate the power of the truth. It may take time, but it will always prevail. Call to action. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more powerful stories like this. Your support means everything,